how do you know whether you're being weak or whether you are actually working on the wrong thing? At first, you may think that it's difficult to determine that answer because it requires a lot of philosophy, a lot of reflection, a lot of experience. But actually, no. This question in specific does have a really simple way to be answered. You ask yourself, am I willing to switch to something that is equally or more difficult? If the answer is no, then you should probably just persevere, unless you are in an exceptional circumstance, like if you're sick or something like that. But outside of that, you should persevere. If the answer is yes, then you should switch to that thing that is equally or more difficult. Like, let's say you start going to university. One thing you'll notice is that it is both significantly harder and significantly less fun than you probably thought it would be. Because, you have to do a lot of assignments that take a lot of time, are very boring, are very exhausting, and are very difficult at the same time. You have to do a lot of them. And this is why so many people quit. And so, even the people who don't quit, or the people that are about to quit, ask themselves, am I being weak? Or is this the wrong thing? And it is the wrong thing if you are willing to switch to something else. Like if, let's say, you study electrical engineering right now and you don't like it, and you consider switching to, let's say, chemistry or medicine or law, then that's okay. If you want to switch to working a job, that's also okay. If you want to switch to starting a business, that's also okay. What is not okay is switching to staying home all day and doing another gap year. That is not okay, because then you are being weak and you should persevere and adjust your expectations. But if you want to switch to something else, that's completely valid. If that thing is equally or more difficult. If it's not, well, then it's not okay to switch. You should just persevere. You should just adjust your expectations and push through it, because it will get easier over time. But if there is something that you want to do instead that is equally more difficult, then it's okay, And let me give you another example. One thing that happened today, actually. So I met with my friend and I told him that I would go home after the meeting and then I would go to the gym. However, when I arrived at home and started to do the homework that I promised to myself I would do, I noticed that I had quite a bit more to do than I had expected. And so I stood before this dilemma in a very practical sense. How do I know that I actually have a lot to do and not just pretend to have a lot to do to avoid the difficult workout, right? And I resolved the dilemma this way. Either I would go and work out, or I would do something that is equally or more difficult. I would make a quick workout at home and then spend these 2 hours that I would have spent at the gym with monastic focus on that homework. And that's what I ended up doing, because I spent that time really focused on my homework and did that short workout. I know that I wasn't just being weak and trying to avoid that workout, but that I actually had something to do. And that's then what I told him. I told him, yes, I did that quick workout and did the homework. Because, I could have just stayed quiet and not tell him anything, but then I would have risked compromising myself and compromising my honor. And even if he did not find out, I would know. And so I just told him, hey, I wasn't being weak because here I did that workout at home and I did the homework. And so by switching to something that is equally, in this case, it is equally, it's not really more difficult, it is equally difficult, I proved to myself that the excuse was valid, that I actually didn't have enough time. So I made that quick workout and spent the rest of the time doing that homework. And you can use this principle everywhere. Just ask yourself, am I willing to switch to something that is equally or more difficult? If the answer is yes, switch. If the answer is no, persevere. And we'll see you in the next one.